everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. It's a fresh start throughout the league here in Week 1 as these two teams have high hopes for the season ahead. It's the Gunners going up against the Buccaneers. With that, let's call in our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis, with this opening week matchup.
All right, Larry, we are at a site that's played host to 2 Super Bowls, and that's Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. Today, it's the opener of a new NFL season between the Houston Gunners and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And some changes here as the D-line separates some. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
That play never got off the ground because of the defensive front. They owned the offensive line, which allowed the linebackers to see their openings and run straight to the ball. That's why that play just never had a chance.
Back to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Give him 5 on the screen play, and that'll set up a third down. And here's a look at the starting offense. A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. We heard them talk before the game about utilizing the intermediate passing game this week. It works for them there. They move the chains.
And we saw them work on it in practice as well. And most teams take a period at a time to work on different things. They put a couple of periods of work into the intermediate passing game, and now we know exactly why. They got the look that they were seeking, and they were able to take advantage of it.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
When I watch plays like that, I give a lot of thanks that my DNA did not make me an offensive tackle, because that is a very difficult job, to hold your block against a really good defensive end and hang on to it so your runner can get to the edge and do it without holding. I don't know that that's really possible for very many people.
On play action, they'll throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's 3rd down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to go for a big play downfield. This is intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play?
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack. Defense went 3-4. They got some push from the inside.
And this is something in a 3-4 you don't normally get, because the nose tackle who got the sack he's usually responsible or ends up getting double-teamed and sometimes triple-teamed. How about him working his way back and putting the big guy on the ground?
They'll set up to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback that has to slide and find open space to throw.
Out of the gun now on third down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th. So they bring out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. And he'll take it on this side of midfield. The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass.
Here we go now.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down. And it's possible that today the most important group could be the linebackers.
Yeah, the second level, as we like to call them, right? Defensive front has to control things, but the linebackers, they do more than clean up. They help create big plays.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And he comes back with one complete. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down. And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on third down.
Here we go now.
They'll look to throw again. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a first down.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a result. That and good tackling could lead to no yards gained.
Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down. Roberto Aguayo out now for the Buccaneer field goal try. From the right hash, this from an even 40 yards out. And Aguayo's kick is good. And the Bucs take a 3-0 lead. So a little fortunate there because that one was definitely leaking right.
Without a doubt, maybe about the width of a football or so inside that right upright. But he got it to go.
And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And on that last drive, went for it on fourth, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on fourth down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. They come up in an offset eye. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Now a handoff looking right, and able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. And give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. So it'll be first down here after the run. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They go play action here on first down. They're looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. Give him 18 on that one. And that'll be good for a Houston first.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
But there's another example of why they haven't scored any points so far. I think it's time to abandon the run game, spread things out, and go to the air. It certainly can't be any worse than what they've done so far.
They'll set up a throw. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. Third down.
Tremendous coverage there. Just did not catch the football and complete the interception. But what do they say all the time? If he had really good hands, he'd be playing offense.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. Just a 5-yard pickup, but it leads to fourth down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. And this is going to be no good. He missed it off to the left, and this score will stay right where it is. So it's an empty trip downfield there as they get a missed field goal on fourth down.
And I didn't see anything in the setup. It's a good snap, good hold.
Yep.
He just pushed it, and that one never wanted to come back.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. So the D-line's going to spread out. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Back to throw now. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. They push him back 8 yards that time on second down.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
And look at this, it's a fake. He rifles one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. Well, let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Now, that's the type of play that'll fire up a defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield after a gain of about 4.
No, that wasn't an explosive run. That wasn't one that took it all the way to the house. But, boy, for a team that's had trouble running it the entire game, that's the kind of run they need, hopefully, to get themselves kick-started.
Here we go now. Blue landing. Blue landing.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. It'll be a gain of 4. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. They'll go with a keeper. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and they're able to convert here on 4th and inches. Two minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Tampa after this timeout. And again this time to the tailback. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Partner, we're into the second quarter, and I guess you can kind of look at it both ways. The offense, they've got to figure out what they're going to do because they haven't scored any points. But if you're the defense, you're feeling great about what you've got going on. The only concern you have, to get to the half, what adjustments will the offense make to try to defeat you?
And they'll run it here. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. 12 yards to go on 3rd down. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch.
Watch it now, Barney. All right, here we go. Green throw.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. 22 yards on the pickup there. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. Both sides were holding their breath there on that 4th down play, and the offense can breathe a sigh of relief.
And both knew exactly where the first down markers were. You know the defense is trying to guard those sticks and try and keep people in front, but somehow, some way.
And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. A 22-yard touchdown grab. And his guys have taken the lead.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Marty looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
They go back to the air here after the INT. Finding time. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
And second and 10, he'll look to throw again. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
So still a full 10 yards to go here for the offense on third down. They'll look to throw. Trying to set up the screen, and it's intercepted. A great read, and he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So a dangerous pass over the middle into zone coverage, and it bit him hard.
And what's really difficult when you throw it in that direction and versus that zone, that means the linebackers have gotten to their spot, gotten their heads back around, and they can see the quarterback and everything in front of them. And they took big advantage of it, went the other direction, excellent blocking, and picked up a touchdown.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
After the pick six, they go right back to the air. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have two remaining here before we get to halftime. Fresh set of downs here. They go play action here on first down. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left. They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing if that's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. You're dropping 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
He's got time in the pocket. Great protection. He sets to fire deep. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. And now out comes Houston. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into it.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Roughing the pass here, but Charles, that's a good call. But these days, you know quarterbacks, they're very protected.
We know how protected they are, and if it's anything borderline, they're going to get the call. But as a defender, that's hard to swallow sometimes because there's so many of these bang-bang plays.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. They bring a man off the corner that time, and he gets home for a loss of 6. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. They'll set up a throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
And the offense looking to pick up the 1st down after the 2nd down incompletion. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. This will be taken at the 10. And an alley to run. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Let's just call that play what it was. Bold, dashing, daring, and a big-time return for a touchdown.
Fielding a punt inside the 10. Most coaches, they frown upon that, don't they?
They really do. I do know some special teams coaches who say, okay, I'll let you go back to about the 8, and you're right in that gray area, and he made that play work in a massive way.
And he's got it. That cuts the lead. It's now 14-10. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
They come up in an offset eye. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Well, at least he was able to break that initial contact, or it could have been a loss.
Yeah, give credit to the defensive player, though. What did he do? Made him slow down, slow up his feet, and allowed the rest of the guys to get there to finish him off.
Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. Now they try the right side here. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage.
And that was textbook 3-4 defense. Normally the defensive line just eats up blocks. In this case, they ate up the blocks and still made the play against the running game. Really, really nice job.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And the return will stop right around the 25. The Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Really nice starting field position here for the offensive unit.
All right, here we go. Good. All right, here we go. 56. 56. Leopard.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. They're looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. 18 yards there, and it'll be a 1st and goal.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. So they go out of the gun, try to delay it on the draw, but nothing there.
Yeah, good play by the defense there. They sniffed it out and made sure there were no gaps for him to run. If you're the offense, though, you have to think to yourself, maybe I go play action down the road.
They're going to hurry back to the line now. They'll run it now out of the gun. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. An extra defensive back on the field here for 3rd and goal. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Man, a tough spot to drop that down here, 3rd and goal.
And so many times when you analyze a play like this, you talk about the people around him and maybe his focus was gone. Sometimes just simply him understanding how close he is to the end zone and a chance to score, and he tightens up and doesn't complete the play.
So the drive takes him inside the 10, but it ends with just 3.
And a nice job defensively to rise up and make sure they didn't get in.
Roberto Aguayo following the made field goal, set now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities. Now, that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Fielded at the 33. Oh, and you just can't do that. 15 yards on the roughing the kicker call.
Absolutely inexcusable. The kicker's in a defensive position, and he just gets taken out.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. Tampa Bay trots out there now. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he is going to lose yardage here. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. And yet again, this run game just continues to be completely shut off.
Completely stymied. I mean, they're trying to get some consistency, trying to find places to roam. They just haven't been there throughout this game. When everything is in sync on defense, that means everyone's communicating really well, and sometimes it's nonverbal. They just know that when a receiver's in one spot, this person may have him, and he's in another spot, the next defender may have him. And they've squeezed the passing lanes down to where it's so difficult to find an open area to deliver the football. They've made it tough on them all game long.
So they recover the fumble in plus position, but they can't go anywhere. In fact, they go backwards, but they do get a field goal out of it.
They'll take the 3, but in a lot of ways, they feel like they let themselves down by not capitalizing, and they definitely let the defense down for getting the key turnover.
And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. And quickly, they get to the line. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. And they'll go on the ground. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. A great effort there. An 8-yard touchdown run. And the Bucs are going to retake the lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
After the touchdown, Aguayo now ready for the kickoff. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You'd better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
2nd down and just 1. Now back to throw. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Quit acting like you're so old. You're only 65. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there. An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from.
Oh, no, he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. And that last drive was very, very balanced, pretty methodical. You think they go that route again?
I'm always of the school that until they stop me from doing something, I'm going to continue. And I think that that's exactly what they'll look to do. But the beauty is the balance that they've created sets up opportunities for big plays. Looks like a run, turn into a play action, and throw one deep.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. And in this situation with a lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line. Well, to say that this has not been his game is probably a big understatement. I mean, he is all over the place. Mechanics are off, not accurate, except if you're playing on defense, because they picked off a good number of passes.
Yeah, all the INTs, but they're throwing it off his back foot. Pressure coming, just chucking it downfield. He can't do that right now.
No, you can't do that at all. And I think one of the hardest things for a guy having a day like this one is to find a way to just kind of get out of it, kind of get yourself back to neutral. Because what you try and do is make even more spectacular plays to make up for it, and it usually leads to more bad ones.
Oh, it's a wobbler here. And he did get it back, I do think, yes. So no turnover on the punt, and it'll be a first down. And now out comes Houston. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt like they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? Back to throw here. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. The 15 yards there on the catch and run.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game. Well, that plays a statistic that's going to go on the defensive team stat sheet. Won't necessarily reflect in ours, right, the overall game sheet. But you and I know that they keep count on pressures, hits on quarterbacks, all those things, hoping to increase that throughout the game. And here we are in the fourth quarter, and they got a big one.
Yeah, it's such a close game, a very big one. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. He'll try again with the arm here on second down. And now another turnover as this one's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. And some changes here as the D-line separates some. And the D looking like they may blitz.
Here we go now. Detroit! Detroit! Snapper! Snapper! Over! Let's go!
They'll come out throwing here on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block and catch the football, not easily done in today's NFL.
They'll come out in the pistol. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They go back to the air here after the INT. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. So 2nd and medium, 2nd and 5 now.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it, trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
They'll set up a throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
He went full scale, loose, flexible, finding a way to catch the ball in some traffic for a key first down.
Yeah, really a nice job of adjusting to the ball in the air. Not the most accurate of throws, but able to adjust and make the grab. They'll come out in the pistol, and they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. And the offense moving in the wrong direction here now as they face a 2nd and 12.
One of the beauties of a 3-4 defense is that you have flexibility with your linebackers, and you can put them in different spots. But one of the downsides is an offensive team that's committed to running the football, you can get your big offensive linemen up on linebackers quicker, and it usually gives you an advantage in running it.
So this offense really needs to make something happen here late in the fourth with the football.
Here we go now. Blue landing. Blue landing. Leopard. Leopard.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And a shot taken on third down, unsuccessful. Fourth down now.
That's a bold strike right there, taking it downfield and putting some air on it. But how about the coverage? Able to get his hands across the receiver and bat the ball down.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on fourth down.
Let's go.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And he comes back with one complete. That'll be a gain of 15 yards. And they're able to move the chains as they convert on fourth and long.
And that's a big pickup of a first down. And you know that all week, both sides of the ball, offense and defense, are going through every situation. And in this case, the offensive guys had the right play dialed up because defensively, you work on fourth down situations as well.
And deflating for the defense. They can't get the stop here. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up first and goal.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
From the 2-yard line now, it's first and goal. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Give him 2 yards on that one. Second and goal now.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. And now it's second and goal. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. Already his second touchdown here in this opening weekend. And his guys are just an extra point away now from taking the lead in this game. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this fourth quarter. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. And now the Buccaneers offense gets set to head back onto the field. Tie game here. Time starting to run down. The defense really needs to try and keep this game tied, see if they can get the ball back for the offense. They go back to nowhere to go here. He lost the football. So they take over not only in enemy territory, but in the red zone at the 16-yard line. And they'll start this drive with very good field position. Now a handoff here to his running back. And they'll lose you. And now the Bucs deciding to take a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And a long way to go for the offense here on second down. They'll look to throw here. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And the Buccaneers go ahead and take another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense. Exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. They'll look to throw. Going to throw right side here. Complete. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. Now hang on here. Timeout called. Timeout called by the defense. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. And his kick is indeed good. And they have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes. Now then, it's a big kick right there to give them the lead in the fourth. But, Charles, there is still time left for a final drive.
Brandon, you know they would have liked to take the clock down just a little bit further, at least under a minute or so, but this was not over yet, especially since they just need a field goal.
Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive, a little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punching the end zone without turning it over.
Back to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, any caused incompletion is good for a defense. But when you add to it that you get a little hit on the quarterback, knock him to the ground, make him think a little bit, hopefully knock him off his game, especially in a game of this magnitude, this tight in the fourth quarter, got to feel pretty good as a defense.
Here we go.
He'll look to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's sensed being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. And the offense looks to pick up the first here on third after that incompletion. The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. So here we go now, an extra defensive back in there on 3rd and 10. They'll look to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Even in today's NFL, when we think of the tight end position now as really a glorified wide receiver, we're still asking a lot of those guys. They have to block as well, and every now and then, they don't come down with the football.
Back to throw. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the ball will go over on downs on the short side of the field. And now out comes Houston. They have the 3-point lead. Defense did their job. Now, late game, although it looks good, you know the coaches, they haven't counted this as a victory yet.
I agree with you totally. Big applause for the defense, but no one is taking their headset off on the sidelines. They don't believe this game is over. The offense has to close this one out by taking care of the football.
And they'll try to close it out now. Give them 11 on the game there, and it's good enough for a Houston first down.
Here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up.
But it was stopped on that play. He's had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. This will be caught at the 2. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Their dangerous wide receiver. A 15-yard touchdown grab. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They might be thinking this is close to a lost cause here. Got to play it out. What do they need to do?
Well, they have a thought process in mind already, but they can't get ahead of themselves. They know that they need to score quickly.
Yep, two-score game.
Onside kick and get the ball back and then score again, but they can't worry about the last 2 points. The only thing that matters is scoring quickly, then they'll take it from there.
And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. A great read, and it's picked off. And that will write a finish to this ball game. And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year, week one. You had the flyover, the big American flag out there before the game, all the hoopla, just having football back, so special.
It is an opening day, opening game. There's just nothing like it because you really build to a crescendo. But the best part for us is that crescendo lasts for a while. Opening game here, an entire season. We get into the playoffs, to the Super Bowl. I was really excited. I could barely sleep last night. I can't imagine being a player.
So for our visitors, not much to complain about here. They come in and steal a victory in a tough place to play on a Sunday night. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Lambeau to take on the Packers. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Tampa.